I'm in a gorgeous condo, I guess. Yeah. Downtown Frederick with Cindi. Fitness works wonders. And yes, it does, for sure. We all know that. But I love what you're doing with your passion of fitness. So you've been educated in fitness, master's degree even. What does a master's teach you in fitness?
It really had little to do with fitness itself, and much more to do with psychological stuff behind wanting to exercise, wanting to get fit, wanting to eat properly. The body wants to do what the brain does, and so it was a lot of psychological classes.
This is true, for sure.
Then I went and got several certificates in the industry, so that I wanted to be credible. Just saying, okay, so I have a degree in...
I know what I'm doing. Yeah, just really? Listen to me.
Yeah, so that was helpful. That was smart. That was a smart thing to do. So that's kind of how I got started, and then it just took off.
Yeah.
It took off. I was in a gym.
Yeah.
And I was observing all the people working out, and there were Ken and Barbies who were the trainers, and these average people in their cut-off shorts and T-shirts, and they were in their 50s and 60s, and they weren't getting the attention they should have.
Right.
So that's kind of where the connection came in. As I'm working and finishing up this degree, I'm thinking, all right, my niche is going to be older people. And older women, probably.
You obviously have found a great niche, because for people who are aging, just having anyone pay attention to them, but also doing it in a way that they can actually do it.
Yeah.
So you actually change things dependent upon each person's abilities.
And it's evolved. When I first started, I was afraid of people who couldn't swim, because I thought, oh, I can't control. We're in the deep end, we're in the shallow end. We use barbells, we use water noodles, we use all those toys. And if you're afraid of the water and you're going to stay in the shallow end, so I discouraged, if people told me they couldn't swim, I said, okay, well, you can try it, but this is what we do. But now I've learned that, okay, when I have that kind of situation, I'm not in the pool. I'm up on the deck, so I can walk back and forth and keep watch on everybody, and that has worked out.
Yeah.
So my clients have expanded a little bit that way.
Yeah. So you approached Hood College and said, I'd like to rent the pool.
Yes. And
then you got the word out and said, hey, I'm going to do these water fitness classes. Yes.
And the first class, I had had a hysterectomy 5 weeks before the first class was supposed to start. So my mother came from California.
Oh.
And she was, I stood on the deck and moved.
Yes.
And she was in the water helping people.
Oh.
Now, she didn't have a clue what she was doing either. And we had 2 people.
Aww.
And I said to her, okay, Mom, we're done. She said, what are you talking about? This is your first class. You can't give up after your first class.
Good job, Mom.
And Mom now,
Yes. God bless her.
She really did keep me going.
Yes.
She did.
And so when did you start that? When was the first class?
Actually, I started that in 1994. So it was 30 years. It was 30 years May 5th.
Congratulations.
And never took a break. We are the most determined group of women. During COVID, I wish we had a video. We made it through the first COVID, like March of 2020. By Christmas and then the new year, 2021, they were calling me and saying, we can't stand this. We have to, please, what can we do? So I went back to the college and I said, here's the deal. What can you accommodate us? Yes, you can't use the bathrooms. You can't take a shower. You can't go to the toilets. You have to stay 6 feet apart. You have to wear a mask. But you can come in and have class. So I sent out an email to all of them and put the rules. This is what we have to do.
Yeah.
15 people showed up.
Yeah.
And then we couldn't change clothes because we couldn't go in the dressing room. So we held towels up right out at the edge of the pool. And one would hold a towel and the other would get undressed.
I love it.
Then I came in one day with one of these big overshirts. And I got them. Costco was selling them.
Yeah.
I bought one for every person in the class.
So they could change underneath these big shirts.
They paid for them.
I love
it looked like we were having a fight. Because you pull the shirt on, then you reach up and pull it, and you're like this, and we're all laughing. It was so
fun.
That's the way they are.
Yeah, that's amazing.
They encouraged me.
Yes.
Why? We got to get back in here.
Well, you were saying it's for everything that you're giving, you're receiving.
Oh, more. So much more.
Yeah.
So much. And the value of this class is so much more than the money that they just spend to come take the class,
Yeah.
And women generally are more comfortable talking about all kinds of subjects. So we just get in the water and it's whatever. And when if a man comes in, I'm very clear. I say, look,
good, watch out.
I don't know what we're going to talk about today, but don't be surprised. And if you're uncomfortable, let me know.
Yeah.
The men come and go. But it's not because of what we're talking about.
Right,
So.
yeah. So how often are you teaching at Hood?
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Tuesdays and Thursdays, okay. Yeah. And you can take more people right now?
Yeah, the pool, the deal with that is that everybody doesn't always show up.
Right.
So sometimes it's really crowded, sometimes only 7 or 8 people come.
Right.
So I haven't limited it yet.
Sure.
I may have to at some point.
Yeah, yeah. Over the 30 years, I mean, I'm sure, people have passed and new people have come in, and I would assume you've seen some people, their grandkids, their families.
We have Christmas parties, we have a tea. We go to, in August, we have a huge lobster dinner at the brew pub, and 25 or 30 of us show up, and that's hysterical.
Oh, wow.
I've been to weddings, I've been to funerals. It's a family.
It is a family. Especially
and
after all
one woman
that
has
time.
been with me for 28 of those 30 years. Yeah, only one.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's unreal. Well, it's hard to believe you have been teaching for 30 years on top of having a career.
Yes,
so
well.
You look amazing.
Well, thank you.
And are fairly healthy, I'm assuming. Like you've talked the talk and walked the walk.
I've tried.
Yes, yeah. So for somebody who is aging right now, and let's just say they're not doing excellent, what would you say, they should at least start doing today that they can do to change the trajectory of where they're headed?
That's where we get stuck. That's that mental thing that says, I can't do it, so I'm not going to do it.
Right.
You're almost not limited if you figure out that you can do something in tiny little steps.
Yeah.
So if you take it from where you are, I think we do a disservice to people when we say, well, in order to get any benefit from exercise, you have to do it 45 minutes, 5 days a week.
Right.
At moderate to extreme. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is that encouraging?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
It sounds too hard.
Plus, it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
It discounts all the people who are in between. I always tell people, all right, if you can't get out of your chair, get out of your chair 10 times.
Yeah.
If get up at a commercial, walk around your house.
Yeah.
When I was just counting my steps for a while, I was doing that step thing, and then I thought, oh, I can't deal with that. But if I was less than 1,000 steps under my 10,000 step goal, I walked 1,000 steps up and down my hallway.
Yeah. Just to hit it.
Yes. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to kill you. It just has to mean you move.
Yes.
And the water's so forgiving.
Yes, for sure. For everything, right?
The water. The only thing that you can't do in water is build bone.
Right.
And we older women have that issue with the bone loss. So, and my doctor said to me, so I share this with the class, for every hour you're in the water, you need to spend an hour doing weight-bearing exercise. But that just means taking a walk. So if you do water twice a week for an hour, you should try and walk a total of 2 hours over that
during a week.
Because it just kind of balances it out.
Yeah, you were telling me that you will visit people's homes if they need it.
And if they have pools, I'll do a pool class for them in their backyard.
Yeah.
Or we can start out with rubber bands and little weights.
Yeah.
And it gives you confidence when you realize, oh, okay, these are little steps, but
Yeah.
they're working toward it works. It all
Exactly.
counts.
Yeah. Well, it's like the old adage, how do you eat an elephant, right? One bite at a time. So just getting up and doing these little things, walking 30 steps, walking 60 steps, walking, they're all wins, and it motivates you to keep going. If there was one thing you'd want people to remember or know about what you're doing here, what would that be?
The feeling of community, the fabulous village that we've created, where we're even the class is pretty funny. We're very open, we're very strong, we're very opinionated. There's resources for everybody, for everything in this class, because everybody's done something. There's artists, and it works out so beautifully.
Yeah.
And you tell I'm passionate about it.
Yes, I love it. I love it so much. All right, how can people get in touch with you if they think this might be something they want to do?
I'm on Facebook. There's no pre-registration, so they show up with their bathing suit, their towel, a check or cash, and they sign a waiver. And then that's it. They pay me.
Okay.
It's very simple. There's no membership fees.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
I break it into 6-week sessions, so there are 12 classes, and it's $90 for 12 classes.
Oh, well, look, if you or maybe your parent needs to get out and get some exercise and learn more about their own fitness, we're going to put all the details on the stream here so you can find out more and maybe get some information for yourself.
Good.
But we really thank you so much for everything you're doing
And
for
thank you.
our seniors.
Thanks for sharing it with you.
All right, we'll see you guys next time. Perfect. Thank you.